Howdy folks, GRebner here with GRebner Outdoors. Have I got a badass combo for you deer hunters out there that are working on a decent budget. This is going to be a combination review between the Cold Steel Master Hunter and the Cold Steel Marauder. As you can see, I have them 550 together to go as a combo sheath. I love Secure X sheaths. They're great. They blow anything else out of the water. First of all, the Cold Steel Master Hunter is a drop point hunting knife. When most people think hunting knife, they think something like the Marauder, something that John Rambo would fucking carry. Well, granted, this is what GRebner would carry, but in all reality, a hunting knife needs to be small enough to actually allow for surgical dexterity when you're severing connective tissue from organs inside the body cavity of a furry critter. This is a well-designed drop point hunting knife. No guard on top, only a craton guard to prevent you from walking up on the blade. Now, most of the reviews that I've seen of this knife mention it in their bushcraft category. This ain't a bushcraft knife. It is not a bushcraft knife. This is a fucking hunting knife. It is a field dressing knife. As much as I love bushcraft myself, you can take your bushcraft and shove it up your ass. This is not a bushcraft knife. If you want a bushcraft knife, buy a fucking Mora. Okay? But don't take a finely edged hunting knife for field dressing and carve up your feather sticks and blah blah fucking blah. Okay? I know, you're not a hunter, so you bought it as a bushcraft knife. Do whatever the hell you want. Pound sand up your ass. But this is not designed as a bushcraft knife. This is a field dressing knife for large and medium game animal. Now that I've got that out of the way, it does have a decent edge, but I'm actually not entirely happy with it. I hate saying that. It's the only knife that did not come to me from Cold Steel scary sharp. It's a full flat grind with a micro bevel, but it is Sanmai 3. Anything in carbon 5 or SK5, the high carbon steels from Cold Steel, has always come wicked scary sharp. This one, I had to run some 2000 grit sandpaper on it to get it to where I want it for if I ever down a deer. But it is still sharp enough to pop skin off. It does have a lanyard hole. It's long enough to where you can hold it. And frankly, it seems to me one of the best choices for a person who doesn't really know what they're getting into if they're looking for a hunting field dressing knife. With that being said, yes, it would excel at most bushcraft tasks, but I don't know how many of you have ever skinned animals before, but you're not going to be one of big carving fucking wood with what you're going to be trying to get the hide off a critter with. You want that thing to be a damn scalpel. So, we're going to put this one back into its combo sheath. And we're going to talk about the Marauder. I wanted this knife. As soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it. And it's a hell of a knife. Granted, it has a hollow grind with a micro bevel, an unsharpened swedge, and it does have a much more acute tip than a Trailmaster. But this thing came fucking insanely razor scalpel fucking sharp. Okay? And it is in SK5. It has a sub-hilt design, which is why you see these two hilts. It's long enough to actually reach vital organs if you need to defend yourself against a furry critter or two-legged shitbird, one of the two. And it's light enough when combined with this to still not weigh you down when traveling through the woods or over hill, over dale, wherever the fuck you are. It is a good knife in my opinion for what it is, which is an under $150 attainable large survival knife. Also, it would make a good combat fighting knife in my opinion, but don't bring a knife to a gunfight. The reason that I have these two together is not only to take up less space, but I don't know how many people that talk about the end of the world bullshit actually realize that you'd better have your shit together, because I can't tell you how many times that me, myself, I've actually gone hunting and left my fucking quiver at home. Or I've driven all the way out somewhere to go shooting and I forgot my ammo. You need to have your shit together, literally. So this way, I never have to worry about losing either of these two knives as long as they are on my belt, because they're together. They take up less space, and I can access this, and I can also access the Marauder without any trouble. It's almost as if this Lego stacking was intended to be used. Now, granted, I wouldn't go crazy and stick a Recon Scout in between there so that you have your hunting knife, your small wilderness knife, and then your large fighting and survival knife. But it would be kind of funny to see three sheaths stacked up on top of each other. Oh, good Lord help us. Now, thanks to Rule 34, me saying it, it's going to make it so, and Bud K is going to come out with a triple tier survival knife set. God help us. But the long story short is, I'm actually very impressed with the Marauder, because it is slightly more attainable than the Trailmaster. It is slimmer blade stock and has a weaker tip, but as a chopping and slashing and down and dirty blade goes, it's going to do you just fine. As far as the Master Hunter goes, I originally was not terribly impressed by it, simply because it did not come quite as sharp as I had expected it to. But maybe it was a Monday. Who knows? What I can say in closing about this knife is, it's not a fucking bushcraft knife. It's a hunting knife. It is a field dressing knife. Okay? I personally don't like gut hooks on my knives, but this is a very well-designed drop point hunter. If you don't have the money to afford a Bark River, I would say this is the next best option. Or if you're me and you do have the money to afford a Bark River and you're just a cold steel juggernaut, by all means, buy this. But if it's a Sanmai 3 blade, you may have to do some touching up on the edge to get it to where you can skin a gnat's ass. I love both of these knives, and you can attain both of them combined with shipping included for under $200. So if you're looking for something that you want to hang on your belt in a very compact package that gives you the capability to lance a deer or pig and then easily field dress it with a knife that has a well-designed handle and a super steel blade that once you get it sharp is going to hold a hell of a fucking edge, I can honestly recommend you both of these two knives. Granted, it's going to end up being roughly the same price as a Bark River. But if you want a bushcraft knife, buy a fucking Mora and shut the fuck up.
Suppose I ought to warn you, I say fuck quite often in this video. Oh well, who am I? Yeah, that's right, I'm Tex fucking GRebner. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Take that as some food for thought the next time you're looking into outdoors knives. After all, this is Tex fucking GRebner Outdoors. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please check out my friends over at legallyconcealed.org. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement, those of you who served in the military. And thanks for watching Tex GRebner Outdoors.